Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I think here in the United States of America, economy is listed as a science. That means it has an exact, it's an exact science, which is you got numbers and you can predict future based on numbers. You can calculate, you use arithmetics, mathematics, whatever. So it's not like philosophy, okay? It's not like that, or other of those kinds. So obviously, when you have experts, and an expert is the one that is on top of a big organization of experts in economics, which would be, let's say, a Treasury Secretary. I would think that the Treasury Secretary of the United States is the expert of the experts in economic issues. Investment, banking, all that, they should be. Where we have this weasel, another Zelensky Stein, somehow the fuck we got, but anyway, is not a Romanian, or I don't know, an African American, is not a, Hispanic, is not a midget, sorry, little people. All these things, she's not, but somehow it's a Blinken, you got Newland, you got Zelensky, you got now the UK Defense Secretary, you got the former UK Ambassador Simon again. So anyway, it's just a coincidence. But how many Romanians do you see in a global stage? None. Because we're dumb or something? You can't say that. Anyway, let me show you this. So these experts right here with this little weasel, they got it wrong. They got it wrong. With the sanctions, they got it wrong. With the oil cap, they got it wrong. Do you think they got it wrong? I mean, do you think these guys are so dumb? So, Russian oil cap not working. Of course it's not working. I said that. I'm not an economist. I'm a Romanian weasel. So, what the hell? I mean, I got it. You had 50%. You had 1 out of 2. Come on. That's a big odds, Oh, 1 out of 2. Woo, 50-50. And they got it wrong, the experts. I told you they will not be able to do shit with the oil cap. The same with the sanctions. I don't think, actually, just to tell you directly, that they miscalculated. I don't think they didn't know what they were doing. On the contrary, I think they knew exactly what they were doing, and they just tell us, I guess the cap did not work. I don't think they can be that dumb. I think they're smarter than that. But anyway, as of now, this proves they're idiots. Why? Because look at that. They implemented the sanctions. The sanctions affect them more than the Russians. The oil cap not working. What's going on here? They're either stupid or they're weasels. And they know what they're doing in this case. Remember, Yellen, the US Treasury Secretary, said that inflation, oh my God, I didn't expect the inflation to be that big. What the hell are you doing? Selling potatoes or something on a Romanian market? Jesus Christ. Anyway, that's what happens when you have an ideology. When you have an ideology, you have a certain worldview, then you make a lot of mistakes. But let's see what these guys are saying. U.S. Treasury Chief Janet Yellen says Russia has maintained export volumes and prices remain high despite the limits. The price cap imposed on Russian oil by the G7 countries is not working as intended. Maybe for some. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen said on Friday, as quoted by Bloomberg. She said market prices for crude exported from the sanctions hit nations remain high. They reach $100 per barrel. A $60 per barrel price ceiling on Russian seaborne crude was introduced by the EU and G7 countries and Australia, always like the last kid, the smallest one dragged around, on December 5, not on necessarily the smallest, the slowest. So, I lost my track. It prohibits Western firms from providing insurance and other services to shipments of Russian crude unless the cargo is purchased at a below the set price. The mechanism was introduced to force Russia to continue exporting high volumes of oil to prevent global prices from spiking. That is, communism. You set a price. What is this? Well, Communism for us over there, for you guys, whatever. But reduce the revenue that Moscow generates by selling its crude. And I'm quoting, it does point to some reduction in the effectiveness of the price cap, end quote, Yellen said during her visit to Savannah, Georgia, in response to a question about Russian crude prices, which are now hovering around $100 per barrel instead of the $60 per barrel set by the cap. And I'm quoting, Russia has spent a great deal of money and time and effort to provide services for the export of its oil, Yellen said. You couldn't figure that out. You couldn't prevent that. You didn't think two moves ahead. You just thought the first move, oh, I'm going to do this. Oh my God, what's this? Oh, I'm going to do this. You didn't plan ahead. Garbage. They have added to their shadow fleet, provided more insurance, and the kind of trade is not prohibited by the price cap. Who calculated it? You miscalculated. And I'm quoting here again, we are more than prepared to take action. Now? You should have pretended this. You should have prevented this from happening. Now? You're tards, she said, adding that the G7 was ready to consider over time whether there are ways that might make this policy more effective. At least they're thinking of changing something. It doesn't work. You change something, you tweak it here and there. But the same thing they said about SWIFT. Remember the SWIFT? When they, you know who they are, kicked Russian banks out of SWIFT system, the messaging system, and blah, blah, blah. What happened? They all said, oh, they're done. When they imposed the first sanctions, they said the ruble is going to be dead in 3 days. The Russians will get in the street and pull a Mussolini or a Gaddafi on Putin. It didn't happen. On the contrary, it might happen to you, it seems like. And now they tell us, oh, we didn't know. Who are these guys? And this is what bothers me. Bothers me because it's so easy to figure it out. I said it whenever these guys did that, implemented the sanctions, implemented the so-called price cap. I said that's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. I told you these guys are gonna switch oil in the high seas. They will bypass because those guys think. These guys here with Weasel over there, with what? With Kirby, with Blinken, with Biden, with Kamala. These guys, please, these guys are not ready. Not ready. They don't live in a real environment. And I'm going to tell you the real environment. Do you remember, if you know, the first meeting between, I think it was the only one in Vienna, actually, because the second one was canceled by the Soviets, between Nikita Khrushchev and John F. Kennedy. I can't remember in what year that was. Must have been 1960, 61 maybe. Remember when that happened? And you read about the notes of what Kennedy said after he got out of that meeting with witnesses and Kennedy's statements regarding how he interacted with the Soviet leader. And he said, I'm dead. This guy kicked my butt. Why? Because he came from a different environment. This guy came from a different environment. So the same here. These guys are thinking they're dealing and they're gonna fool those guys over there. Well, they could because they're not idiots, but they will have to adjust. That's why I don't really think that these things just happened. They didn't think ahead. I don't think they're so dumb. Don't put it past that. It's still in the game. I consider that. But I think some of them they know what they're doing. And they tell us, oh, we made a mistake. Okay, who's paying? You're paying. No, you're paying. I mean, when you try something in my name and that affects me, you come back and say sorry and that's it and you move on and you come with another offer? No. I mean, you don't do this in real life. Let's say you go in the mountainside with a group of people and you got a guy who is the leader or the person who, is the scout or the person in charge. And he's been in the mountainside, but you've been too, but you keep your mouth shut because he is a designated leader. But after 1 or 2, 3 mistakes in the mountainside, maybe you don't wait for 3, you wait for 1. And if that mistake is idiotic, you say, hold on, fuck off. All right, you call him out, you say, this is it, your expertise dropped. Your level, you're not the leader anymore. We are here, let's discuss it. And that's how you do. I mean, that should be a consequence to the guy who's the leader and fucks up, isn't it? or only at your job and my job? When you fuck up something, when they fuck up something, oh, it's okay, we're sorry. Not even sorry, I didn't say sorry. They didn't work as intended. Hey, who made the decision? We know the exact people. It's not like the G7. No, they were exact people. You know their names, time, and date. Because when something happens in your business, they know exactly who did it. The same over here. When I say, well, the parliament voted that, it was a mistake. We know who's in the parliament. We know how they voted. So go and get them. Go and get them. I'm talking about consequences. Fire them. You know, don't vote for them. Vote for another weasel that's going to do the same thing to you and I. Because that's the political system we live in, and we like this kind of democracy. I mean, look what it created. This is the consequence of a democracy. Biden, Kamala, is that what it is? Kirby and Sullivan and Karine Jean-Pierre. This is Milley, who's now out. Austin, with his now buddy, because you're going to see it. The group is there. My friends, Yellen, Mayorkas, Granholm, Booty Jack. These guys are the creation of democracy. Why? Because they were appointed, some of them, by the elected official who doesn't fucking know where he's at. Democracy. If this democracy, I don't like it a bit. A bit. Democracy should create and bring over there the leaders, the best. Are those the best? No. So why do we put up with this? By the way, go and vote for that, to support that system. Show me who they are. I saw them at the debate, the second debate and the first debate in the Republican Party. I was like, oh my God, these guys are put forth for us to pick from. I would say two of those. Everybody else just get the fuck out and be the, I don't know, the herder or whatever, the dog catcher, someone in Montana village. Jesus Christ. Haley and those guys. I know Haley, oh, he's so smart. No, she's just a big mouth, obnoxious, rude person. Not too much here. I listened to her. Besides, you know, insulting everybody else and trying to be tough, she's already bought by the same guys that own these guys. And we go and vote them. Jesus. And on the other side is no better. The only one that I would say on the other side is no more John F. Kennedy Jr., not John F., what the hell, Robert F. Kennedy. He is going to run as an independent. Why? Because he likes the democracy as well. That's the only one. The rest in the Democratic Party, nothing. The wind blows. And the same on the other side, don't get me wrong. There are some over there. Like, for instance, what's his name? Josh Hawley. Ted Cruz to a certain extent. There's Chip Roy of Texas. There is Gates. There's two ladies, Baerbock and the other one, blah blah blah, blonde one, I can't remember her name. Marjorie Taylor Green. Another one, oh, they're crazy, man. Oh, okay, you're with the craziest. And there's two more that really. Rand Paul, my bad. Jesus Christ. Maybe you add one or more, and that's it. And I just put Ted Cruz as a barely made it. You know, because he's better than everybody else that discarded. So these will be the only ones that really say something meaningful over there. Maybe one or two more, but as I said, now and then. Thank you very much for being with me again today. So, yeah, they either knew it and they did it because some made some profits somewhere, or they're dumb, or both. Dumb, and some people made profits because they're dumb. And the profits, it was not you or I who made the profits, by the way. Sorry to break the news like that. So go and work, keep your mouth shut. That's the Go and consume, stay in the basement, don't interact and exchange ideas with others, and drink your beer, watch stupid television with The View or the games. We're winning. What the fuck you're winning? You're not even playing. You're not winning shit. You're just like an idiot watching those guys. Go and play and see how you're gonna win. Anyway, just kidding. Go and vote, and don't keep your mouth shut, obviously. Do not keep your mouth shut. Pick your fights. Don't be reckless. Pick your fights. I'm talking verbal fights. All right? You don't want to lose the possibility to survive. That is, lose your job, because in this environment, you have to see who's normal and who's an idiot. And most of them are the second group. Part of the second group. With a big badge right here and right here on their fucking foreheads. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.